Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers, this is the topic you've been waiting for the most. I know this. The topic of marriage. It's the one I get the most direct messages about. It's the one which majority of the brothers in this group are looking towards in terms of looking to get married, having marriage meetings, etc. So here, inshaAllah ta'ala, I'll introduce the module to you and the proceeding lessons on finding, vetting, maintaining a successful marriage from the point of view of the Sharia and in accordance with the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ, who was married multiple times, and the Sahaba, the Tabi'een, Itba' Tabi'een, the entire Salaf, and the scholars of the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, who talked about marriage from a Shari perspective. So in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and from amongst his signs is he created for you azwaj, zawj, so you can live with her in peace, and mawadda and rahmah. Mawadda meaning love, rahmah meaning mercy. And Allah says to Adam, the first thing he said, go to Jannah and live with your spouse in peace, to dwell with her in tranquility in the garden. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam, he felt lonely, Adam did, because he's a man, he wanted companionship. So from his left side of his rib, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Hawa, Eve, from which all women descend. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fashioned Adam from his own hands, but Hawa was created from his own self, from Adam. So women are intrinsically linked to men, intrinsically, and they come from men in that sense. So men cannot live without women. In fact, if it wasn't for men and women, you would not be here. After many centuries and millennium of humans, we would not be here if it wasn't for the blessed institution of marriage. Now, what does marriage mean in Islam? What is nikah? How to do it? We'll talk about all these, inshallah. But one fundamental point here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes your wife as zawj meaning pair, partner. Because also he describes other parts of the animal kingdom as having zawj, animals having zawj, the plants having zawj meaning pair. So women are our pair, men are the pair of women as well. We are intrinsically related and linked. That's the importance of marriage. In Islam, marriage is very easy. Nikah is very simple. 2 witnesses, a wali, a meher, a proposal and an acceptance can all be done within a minute or 2 minutes. Very simple. In all 4 madhabs. In fact, in the Hanafi madhab, you do not even need a wali according to most Hanafi jurists. So very simple method for nikah. Allah has expedited this, and He's also made the sexual desire very strong in both men and women. And this is again one of the maqasid of the Sharia in propagating marriage, is for the propagation of your genes or progeny. One of the blessed things about Islam is it's in complete tune with man's nature. Islam does not say be a hermit or be a virgin for all your life and live in a mountain. Islam doesn't also say go out and have liberal sex with everyone. Islam is perfectly rational, reasonable and logical, because it is not from us, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the divine Sharia, the last Sharia. So in Islam, marriage is very important. It's been made very, very easy. The desire is very strong, and inshallah I'll explain some of the reasons why we should get married beyond the physical pleasures, beyond the aspect of children, and how marriage is important in making a society strong, because charity begins at home. A strong marriage is a strong family, is a strong village, is a strong community, is a strong town or city. You form strong bonds, starting with husband and wife. And this Surah Nisa, this Surah Talaq, are talking about women, marriage, divorce, rights, mahar, iddah, all these things. Islam is very clear when it comes to marriage. And it's one of the blessed things about Islam is it encourages marriage, and all of the prophets, except 2, were not married. If you know who they are, put them in the comments, or we'll do a quiz. But there are 2 prophets who were not married in their life. One of them will come back and get married. And both these prophets were cousins, in fact, they were cousins. So, but apart from that, all the prophets married. In fact, all of them had multiple wives. They say Dawood al-Islam had more than 100 wives. Our Prophet ﷺ himself had 11 wives. So all the prophets were married, all the Anbiya had, were married. And all the scholars, except for a few, were married. I believe Imam Ghazali wasn't married, but I think majority of scholars were married. They had children. Many, in fact, most were polygamous. They had multiple women, because one of the reasons in the Sharia is to have multiple children. Because Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, have lots of children. And so I can boast about your numbers on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So marriage is from Islam, intrinsic part of Islam. And we'll teach you, inshallah, in the next sessions how to look for marriage, how to vet properly, how to approach the sister for marriage, how to do the nikah, even in marriage, how to please your wife, performance, etc. All these things are important. In fact, there's been books written on this as well, nothing to be shy about. And even, let's face it, divorce happens. If it didn't happen, Surah Baqarah, Surah Nisa, Surah Talaq would not be there. Divorce happens. Half the Sahaba were divorced, 50%. In fact, all of the Prophet's wives were either divorced or widowed, except for Aisha radiallahu anha. They were all divorced or widowed. So, this is also something we talk about, the procedure for divorce, how to do talaq, if you ever get to that, reconciliation, etc. before you get to talaq. Because a lot of people do not know, firstly, the procedure for divorce and the procedure for nikah. So they might be living in zina. You think you got nikah, but you could be living in zina. So it's important to do nikah properly. And even I know brothers who didn't divorce properly. So their ex-wife wasn't divorced properly. Unknowingly, when she gets married again, it's like she's committing zina. So it's important to understand how to conduct nikah, how to have a healthy marriage, and if Allah wills, if you get divorced, then how to do it properly as well. So inshallah we'll talk about this in the next 9 lessons. So just to summarize, marriage, a key pillar of Islam, in fact half your deen. It's the Sunnah of all the prophets. It is highly recommended, has many benefits beyond intimacy and children, has a huge impact on maintaining societal bonds, social bonds, community bond. Is very important for that, and above and beyond that, it's important for sanity. Men and women go crazy without being married. It's very common actually. Psychosis, borderline personality disorders happens when your hormones are not regulated. This can happen from not being married. So tune in for the next 9 lessons, inshaAllah ta'ala. And any questions, put them below. We'll be doing a quiz at the end of this. Barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.